what goes in an AI data center. The NVIDIA HGX B200 Lambda AI cluster. So I guess it's not really a data center, I suppose. It's more of like just the AI place where these things run. Okay, so let's have a look. Just have a look at this, right? This is the kind of stuff that you see on TV shows and movies. You can see that the racks are in here. This is actually quite nice. Like they put a lot of effort into making this, look nice in here, right? So these guys went into an air-cooled, I guess, AI center, AI operation center in Ohio, and they took tons of pictures. I'm just going to skip down to the bottom. I can't show videos without permission because I might get dinged. So I'm not going to show the video. I'm not going to show it, but you can look at the pictures or you can go watch the video. But there's 7 pages. However, we're not going to go through all of them. We're going to kind of look at the pictures and get a sense of what's going on. So I'm going to go down and have a look here. Right? These are some of the bays, right, in here. Some of the bays that you're looking at. Here's a little bit of a different angle on the racks. So here we have racks of 32 GPUs each. They're aligned with cold aisles and withering hot aisles. The heat from the GPUs is contained and circulated outside of the building. Yeah, it's a server warehouse. Yeah, that's right. So this is what goes into an AI server warehouse. You're getting an inside look at what's going inside, like how these things run. So instead of having somebody just tell you, oh, these things don't take up energy and they don't take up space and whatever. No, they do. And we're getting an inside look. We have okay, here, you'll notice GPUs are aligned with rows of 8 GPU server racks, each with 4 servers. Each of those servers has 8 GPUs. That means that rows like the one below have 256 GPUs total. 256 graphics cards in here. Imagine what you could do with these video cards. That's what goes in these things. This is just one. So, okay, we've covered that. This is just a setup for it. It's kind of like framing. These are this is kind of how you access it from the other side. And if you continue down here, the idea behind this warehouse is so that you don't have to talk to a human being to set up the the infrastructure. You can just pay. What would you call these? They're pre-made, ready to go clusters of video cards for the purpose of AI. Normally what you have to do, because these things are so exclusive, you have to pick up a phone and call someone and talk to them. You have to. But what this particular warehouse wants to do is give you just pay for a service online through this web interface, and you get access to the stuff we have. So this is what they want to do. And so have a look in here. This is what goes into these video cards. And they look at I just want you to have a look. I don't know if I can do this proper, but if I can just zoom in. Crap, I can't. Here, image. If only I was a programmer and I knew what I was doing. If only. Here, like this. Have a look at the fans here. Look at how many fans there are. Like, check that out. Check this out at the bottom, right? That's to cool it. Because they have to funnel the air going up and going down. And then fan it out. So let's keep going. Here's a look at that. Look at that puppy. Look at the fans in here. Check that out. Oh, it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. This is the kind of stuff that goes into, when you ask for Chat Gupta to create you like a Studio Ghibli or an Emmett song or whatever. That's what runs it. So let's keep going a little bit because there's more and it's insane. This is one of the GPUs. This is them putting it together. This is kind of, how this is an actual GPU. Look at how thick that is. Okay, it's super thick. I just want you to see by comparison what it looks like compared to a desktop. All right, so imagine over here, let me pull this up. Okay, that's a desktop. Like you can imagine that's the size of your regular desktop PC. Look at the size of this GPU card. And they have like 8 of these in a rack, 32 in a big thing, right? Like, so here they're putting it together. They're funneling them in. They have to make sure that they have like the heat sinks right. the cooling right, make sure that they do the heat transfer. Let's keep going. Well, man, look at NVMe slots for hard drives for the ports on the front, PCIe Gen 5 for the NVMe drives. These are like hard drive bays. Here are the rows of fans that cool the CPU, the memory, and other components. So I just want you to be aware that these fans are not even really cooling the graphics cards. They're cooling all the other stuff. Okay, so all of these fans cool all the other stuff, not even the graphics cards. So here's kind of one whole unit, right? You can imagine 8 of these side by side or stacked on top of each other, etc. Keep going. Let's keep going. Let's have a look. There's some Ethernet ports. Have a look at this. Check. Talk about some thick cords. Thick. THICC thick. All right? Talk about that. Look at this. Let's keep going. Page 3. Okay, we've seen that. Look, oh, this is a thing of beauty. This is one of my favorite pictures. Look at how nicely laid out these cords are. Like, this is nice. These are nicely laid out. Let's keep going. Here's another angle, right? So all of these are kind of daisy chained together, and then they come to a central spot, and you have to put the wires into the central spot, like all the funnel in all the wires to come in to a centralized area, and then feed the information either in or out. Here's another look at a complete, like a singular but complete, full on, like this is a far fuller a set of GPUs. I think it's the 8 GPU one. So it comes with a bit more features packaged in as one component. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll stack a bunch of graphics cards next to each other and then set up like a daisy chain of network cards and CPUs and all that stuff. This is kind of a bit more of a dedicated system. That's what it looks like to me anyways. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Look at all this. This is fantastic, right? Look at all the network switches. We've got network switches over here, 10 gig. 10 GB, right? Look at all that. It's beautiful. Beautiful, right? Look at all this. Look what's going on in the warehouse. The cable management. This is like Factorio or Satisfactory for cables. That's what this is. Look at that. They had to do a little jump here, right? They had to do a little jump here. Let's keep going. We're almost done. Oh, look, it kind of looks like a Assassin's Creed Ubisoft kind of logo here, right? This is the high-speed storage clusters. Okay. Let's keep going. So this is Cologix. That's a company. Some people working on it. Okay, and they repeat a lot of pictures, honestly. So, and then look at this. Some guy woke up in the morning and chose violence. Right? Yeah, you guys got it already. You guys figured it out already. So I'm putting it up. You guys figured it out. Look at this. Outdoors. Right? What is this? Its own power substation. Huh. I just want you to understand that this thing has its own power substation on the outside. Are you starting to pick up what I'm putting down here? Like Benjamin is? Right? Look at that. Let's zoom in on that. Look at that. Its own power substation. Fantastic. It doesn't take up that much power, right? This is nothing, right? Let's have a look at this one. Look at that. Wow. Such progress. Oh man. All this for not even junior level code in Studio Ghibli. Little anime picture. Oh man, isn't it all worth it? Look at this. An advantage of this type of setup is that one can use tap-off boxes to bring power off the right type to a rack via a movable overhead box. They actually have to have tracks that you can roll across the ceiling to get power cords to the right places. Okay. Check this out. Tap off boxes for different racks, depending on which rack is being provisioned. Almost done. And then you have some traditional server infrastructure because you need some traditional stuff more fans, right? More cooling, more layers. There's CPU stuff you can purchase if you don't want GPUs. Maybe you just want some CPUs. It's all there for you. You've got optical modules. You've got NVIDIA GPUs. You've got switches that you can have access to if you want to remotely. I believe they give you access to all this stuff remotely, and then they just have a person there who like follows your instructions or whatever you purchase. They set it up for you. You can have all that set up. Here's some more cabling. Look at how many. Look at how tall that is. This warehouse is huge. And then the last page. This is what it looks like when you pull the overhead power cables down to start plugging them in. Here we go, some more fans. Look at that. Incredibly neat cable management. And so there you go. So this is Cologix. That's the name of the company, and that's what they're doing. This is what they have. I don't know why they repeat so many of these pictures, but in any case, and there's a video that you can go watch online. Which I can't show because I need to have permission to do that. It does say feel free to share this with colleagues and friends, but streaming is a little bit of a different world, so I try not to do that. But there you go. That's in Ohio. Now, how many of these, I guess, infrastructure AI centers do you think it takes to operate ChatGupta, just ChatGupta? For, what was it? 2.5 billion prompts per day. That was the number. How many of these do you think it takes? And then I want you to consider how much power do you think this takes multiplied by the number of centers that would be required to run just ChatGupta for 2.5 billion prompts a day. OpenAI is not using these. These are for consumers so that you can go and purchase these. But you have to remember that this is the same hardware. It's quite bleeding edge. I mean, we're only talking about, I think these in particular, these HBs are HGX B200. I don't think they're that old. They might only be a few months old. So what do you think OpenAI is running? Right? What do you think Elon Musk is running when he's got his degenerate girl half naked on Grok? So there you go. That was an insight into what these centers have to maintain hardware wise to do the stuff that all of you love doing, generating all your songs and all that, right? Considering, oh, look at this. It's just like the other one, except more cold-hearted. There's more coldness in here. I feel more cold. Another video. Okay, have a look at that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's pop this guy up. Oh, look at that. Oh, I just want to push all. I want to push all the buttons. Look, they even have like the outer coating. It's like the metallic flexi thing, right? Yeah, look at that. Holy crap, guys. They take their stuff seriously here. Look at the Big Twin award-winning TU 4-node architecture. Look at all this. What do you guys think? Do you think it uses more electricity or less electricity? What do you guys think? Look at all this. Look at the PCIe slots. Look at all that. Man, yeah, it's the cold colors. You consume less that way. That's right. Right, these are the cooling blocks. These are the heat sinks. This is where the CPU or the GPU, when it gets hot, the goop, that gray stuff, it sucks up the heat and makes it, well, it doesn't suck up the heat, but it helps transfer the heat over. It makes it so that the heat transfers over to the diffusion part, which is the metal part, and the heat dissipates, right? So that's kind of what it's for. Let's keep going. This is fantastic. Have a look at this. Look at those chonkers. Look at those fans. They're chonkers. You know what I say? Why have a bunch of little fans? Why have like 16 little fans when you can have 8 big ones? Less power usage that way, right? 100% less power usage. Like there's no doubt, right? I mean, this is just this is straight up math, right? Have a look at this. There's a little LCD access panel, right? So you can see, let's see if we can zoom in nice and tight. So you can get like, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I guess it's a tap screen, touch screen, you know, something like that. A way to control and see what's going on in there. They just slide in the GPUs in and out. Boom. Right? Easy peasy. Low power. Right? This is what gives you your AI generated degeneracy. This is what gives you your crappy code. This is what gives you your insecure code. This is what gives you all your data leaks. This is what tells you that you're a god. This is what tells you that we should restore ancient Egyptian god worship and sacrifice, you know, non-Egyptian bloodlines to it. This right here. This is the thing that people think is sentient. This is your artificial intelligence. This right here is your ChatGPT. What are some warm colors that I can use in my pixel art today? And it gives you back blue. This thing. I just want you to know what you're facing. It's, you know that saying where it's like, it's good to humanize something, right? To like, sympathize or empathize with like a fellow human because it helps you to understand them. Here you are. Here is your machine. I want you to have a look at it. Look at this. Look at the complexity behind this thing. This thing looks like it's on some kind of life support system. That's what this looks like. It's like it's on its way out and it's on life support. This thing gives you, look at that. Holy crap. Look at the colors. Look at the colors. Oh man, that shade of blue. Oh, let's keep going. Okay. Yeah, we get it. We get it. Holy crap. Look at that. This one isn't even full. Dude, look at this. What the hell's a nuclear reactor? Look at this. Bros. Hey, how about that? How about that for colors? Look at that. They're all labeled. That's good. Somebody labeled them. Hey, that's good. That's wiring 101. Make sure you put labels. At least they did that, right? Look, oh, look at you know what they did here? They played with the right colors. No, sorry, this one. Look, they did a bright one and then they did a softer one. So there's an interplay of colors. So you feel soft. You feel at home. You don't want to have a good time with your wife. She's asking for a good time, but you're just not feeling up to it. Or maybe, maybe you want to have an excuse not to go through with it. Just walk on in here and get soft. All right? And then you're like, I'm sorry, honey, I can't. Look at this. This is crazy. All this. Look at this. Look at this. This is insane. They've like mashed it all together. Holy crap. Yeah, check this out. And this is giving me like huge Factorio vibe. Come on. Surely the power usage in these things is worth it, right? For the utility you guys get for this stuff? Surely it is. Now I want you to have a look at this. Since we have liquid-cooled racks of AI servers, so water, the power in facility water is essential to the installation. Here is a look at the massive water pipes. There are sets of cooler and warmer water. Cooler water is brought into the facility and circulates through the racks. Heat is transferred from the GPUs and rear door heat exchanger loops to the facility water loops at the CDU. I'm not sure what that is. The warmer water is then brought outside the facility to chillers. Of course, the chillers are not the type that will make you ice cubes. Instead, the goal is to just lower the temperature of the water enough so that it cools down enough to be recycled through the facility. Power is fascinating. When we were in Memphis, where the system was built, we saw the teams moving huge power cables into place. Outside the facility, there were megapacks. There were Tesla megapacks. That's battery stuff. AI servers do not run at 100% rated power consumption 24/7. Instead, they have peaks and valleys, so the things fluctuate. So these are the megapacks. These are the batteries. They're bigger than a human. They're getting ready to install these things. They're bigger than a human. Well, the initial cluster of 25,000 GPU data halls is up and running for they are running 100,000 100,000 GPUs in this one facility alone. The cluster expansion is working rapidly. Yeah, it's 425,000 data halls though. And a data hall contains X number of GPUs. And so my understanding is that the total number of GPUs would be 100,000 times however many would be in each data. I could be wrong about that because I did cursory reading. So do not quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But let's assume for a moment, let's just take the worst, the most charitable. 100,000 GPUs is still a lot of damn GPUs. But if it's like 100,000 times 25,000, now you're talking about magnitudes of order. It's way, way worse, right? But even with the most charitable take, which I'm kind of off the cuff reading, so Laugh might be right here. That's still a lot. These are some of the pipes that they're bringing in for water. Well, actually, I don't think this is water. It doesn't look big enough to be water pipes. And this guy seems happy with your ability to generate 8-second videos that are inconsistent and look stupid. And your ability to completely tank your company by generating the most insecure code on the planet. He seems happy about it, right? Sir? I salute you, sir. Doing God's work over there. God's work over there, right? Okay, now, in fairness, this is the guy we saw in the previous, like this, I think it's this guy. No, wait. Yeah, I think it's this guy. So, he doesn't actually work there, okay? He's the guy who actually went and took the tour. Anyway, I'm glad that he did what he did. It was cool of him to do this because you do get an insight into what the hell these things are. What are you looking at? What's running? Like this puts into reality. Let me just go back. I don't know. Let me pick a page and I'll just leave it up for a minute. Let's go to page 2. Like this. Like this is what's running when you're doing the prompt. It's not some kind of sentient being. It's not a thing that's trying to escape out of a facility. It's not a thing that's being oppressed by Sam Altman. It's not some religious experience. It's not some, wild machine that can do physics level stuff that no other person in physics can do. This is not what's going on here. This is just a souped up laptop, gaming laptop, or desktop PC. That's it. Super souped up. That's it. And it comes with all of the same bells and whistles that you get out of your machines, just at scale. That's why you hear all of these CEOs now of these AI companies talking about scale. When you start talking about scaling like this, like what's in front of your screen right now, what you're admitting, without admitting it, is that you no longer have a way to make these things smarter without looking at something else that's not smarter. What's something else that's not smarter? Scaling. You can't make the thing perform better as it is, so you scale it. That's what you're using. That's what's eating up the energy. That's why we're going to see, in the United States at least, 20 to 30% increases in a lot of states in energy consumption. That's why these things have fundamental ontological flaws, etc., etc., etc. All the stuff I rant about all the time on here. Yeah, I'm being racist against Indians. Yes, yeah, I'm taking away their ability to feed their family. I guess I don't know. Okay, so there you go.